I think we should start now. People will slowly join in as and when. Uh, so, Priya, should we start with the first task?
Yep.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Aparna Khatiwala, VP Certification and Training, PMI Mumbai Chapter. I'm also the representative of PMI Mumbai Chapter in South Asia WEC team. Before we begin with this our first event of this year, let us take a moment to honor the memory of Srinivasan, former Managing Director of PMI South Asia region, who recently passed away. He played a pivotal role in developing PMI in India and fostering relationship with the Indian edtech ecosystem. Srini was a great man, known for his strong values and ethics. His guidance, mentorship, and exceptional leadership have been a source of inspirations for countless individuals and will always be remembered by the Project Management Institute community in South Asia and beyond. Srini, your impact and teaching will forever be cherished. May you find eternal peace. I request everyone to observe 2 minutes of silence for the departed soul. Okay, we can start the session. Renu, a volunteer from PMI Mumbai chapter, will take you further for this amazing session of the first session of this year. Over to you, Renu.
Thank you, Aparna. And good morning, afternoon, and evening to everyone joining us from across time zones. Welcome to this empowering session under PMI South Asia's WEC 2.0 initiative, How to WOW Transforming Mind. This platform is designed to inspire and uplift more women by addressing challenges in personal and professional growth, fostering collaboration, and driving impact change. Together, through initiatives like webinars, panel discussions, and mentoring programs, we aim to nurture leadership and build a more inclusive future. The start of a new year is the time for reflection and bold aspirations. Across South Asia and the world, women are driving change and shaping a future of resilience and empowerment. Today, we gather under PMI Mumbai Chapter's WOW-WEC initiative for new beginnings, charting a vision for women in 2025, focusing on goal setting and vision building and sharing lessons from women who turned adversity into success. Now, first, let us warmly welcome our esteemed guest speaker, Aswari Rao, a seasonal senior IT professional and a dedicated long-term PMI volunteer, serving as the Vice President of Partnerships and Academic Alliances at PMI Bangalore Chapter and South Asia Women Engagement Committee Chairperson. With over 24 years of experience in IT and agile release management, Eswari continues to inspire professionals through her leadership and dedication to empowering women in project management. Over to you, Eswari ji.
Thank you very much, Renu. Good evening, afternoon, and morning to everybody who's taken time out on a Saturday to be part of this beautiful initiative. Thank you, PMI Mumbai, and thank you, Aparna, who's the core committee for Women Engagement Committee in Mumbai, for her passion and for the entire team to pull this together. So this is awesome. Uh, PMI Women Engagement Committee is close to its eighth year in running. It's a small one member team, which we didn't know what we were going to do. We just thought we should come together as friends, and we were chit chatting together to see what and how we can create difference within the community between ourselves. And then we came up with this idea to build what is called the Women Engagement Committee. Today, the committee is close to about 250 members across all of South Asia, spanning various initiatives, like whether it is to do with women health, whether it is to do with embracing diversity, leadership, fostering chapter engagements, enhancing the power to speak up, not just within the women community, but within the PMI South Asia community as a whole. Each one of us are inspirations for our own selves. And that's how, this Women Engagement Committee is only it's only a channel or a, a platform that all of us could come together and learn from each other and grow, not just individually, professionally, but the entire community as a whole. It's also about uh, building collaborations, what I call transcending limits, and also making sure that we build a community that is very strong, whether it is in terms of welcoming the new members who are part of PMI, or it is enabling and empowering seasoned members within the region via various initiatives, whether it is to do in Mumbai, like the one we are doing now, or it is in Chennai, where they go to rural areas and teach kids and children, or it is in Bangalore, where we work with women leaders in industry to make sure that we enable women and the community find better jobs for themselves, or whether it is in Gujarat and in North India, where we enable uh, women leadership, women to come in the front and speak up, have the power, believe in yourself. And in Bangladesh, for example, we work with the entire community in Bangladesh to bring work to women who, for some reason, because of various other restrictions, cannot get to work. So, this Women Engagement Committee is very small, and we ever strive to make sure that we have more and more members joining us. The QR code, which is in front of your screen, the membership is absolutely free. Please feel free to join this community anytime. Uh, we are always available 24/7. If you just have an issue, a problem, just want to speak to any one of us, or just want to be part, just feel free to join, and we can come together. That's all I would say. So thank you once again, Aparna. Renu, back to you.
Thank you for this key information, Ms. Variji. Okay. Now, it's now my pleasure to hand over the stage to our moderator, Priya Patra, an agile evangelist, thought leader, and a champion for women's empowerment. Priya brings a wealth of experience and passion to lead us through today's inspiring panel discussion. Priya, over to you.
Thank you, Renu. I couldn't recognize myself. You've written some good things about me. I was just thinking, is it really me? Okay. All right. So, thank you everyone for joining this event. And I truly remember Dr. Srini very fondly because he was the one who supported our chapter exchange program. He always motivated us to do more than what we could do, and he had some bright ideas as well. So, Dr. Srini, thank you for all that inspiration. Uh, Gone too soon, I would say. With this, let us invite all our panelists on the stage. Renu, you can stop sharing so that we can have our panelists one by one. But before we start that, let me introduce what are we going to talk today. We all know that women bring in a diverse perspective to the boardroom, to the leadership. We can keep on talking about the good things that can happen if we have women on the leadership roles. Research has consistently demonstrated positive correlation between women's representation on the corporate boards as well as improved organization performance. But yet, we see very few women on the boardroom today. And today, as we step into 2025, I invite each one of you to imagine what would happen, what would be the world look like if we had a seat in the table, not only a seat in the table, but we would design the table as well. So, with this, I welcome the panelists of the day, and first, Cecilia, to introduce herself and think how would you design that table that we just talked about. You are talking on mute.
Thank you, Priya. Thank you, Priya. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. And thank you for inviting me to this panel. I'm very, very happy to be with you. My name is Cecilia Boggi. I am from Argentina. I'm graduated as a bachelor in computer science and have a executive MBA and a doctorate in business administration. several professional certifications in project management, agile, PMO, coaching, leadership, and communication. And I am partner and executive director of Active PMO. It's a consulting and training company specializing in leadership and project management skills. Over 30 years of experience in software development, project and PMOs, in implementations and managing, and both in the private and public sectors in Latin America. I'm also professor at international universities and business schools and speakers at international events. I also author and co-author of books and articles about leadership and project management. I've been member of PMI since 2022. And I've been PMI Buenos Aires, Argentina chapter president in 2011. And I've been region mentor for Southern Latin America since 2014 to 2017. I've been also youth and social impact region advisor in 2020, 2021, and currently integrating the PMI Women in Project Management global team. I also been the founder and first leader of the community of interest Women in Project Management at PMI Buenos Aires chapter since 2018, and creator of the book Female Leadership, Inspiring, Empowering, and Breaking Barriers, written by 30 authors from 16 Latin America chapters in 2023, and member of LinkedIn articles, circles in Argentina and Latin America, lead of the International Women Power Up Network. Thank you.
Thank you, Cecilia. Wow, that was a lot, and a lot of women engagement initiatives that you have been part of. It gives me now immense pleasure to invite the lady with a cup of tea. She says she has a bad throat, but she is our mentor, our manager for PMI's Women in Project Management project teams, of which we are a part of. So, Megan, please introduce yourself and let us know how would you design that table. Don't forget
Certainly.
that, Cecilia, you forgot.
I will not forget at all. Thank you so much, Priya, for having me. It's truly a pleasure to be able to chat with all of these extremely accomplished and phenomenal women. My name is Megan Spate, and by day, I am Project Management Institute's Culture, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Manager. But I always like to describe myself as a culture, communications, and organizational development practitioner who truly uses storytelling, program development, and relationship building to create and maintain a thriving, inclusive communities where individuals truly feel like they belong. So I really work to empower organizations to show their audiences and communities who they are, what they offer, and what they really stand for. A passion of mine is always helping people and organizations share their story in a way that they see as successful and impactful. I As Priya mentioned, I have the amazing pleasure of working with both Priya and Cecilia with the Women in Project Management project team, as we really built that group to be a voice for the PMI community when it comes to women, yes, within our community, but within the entire project management industry. Of how can we uplift voices and move forward the notion that we want true gender parity within, again, yes, our community, but also the profession as a whole. So when referring to this table, what does it look like? Yes, we want this table, like we said, to have gender parity. We want to ensure that there are diverse amount of voices, both from individuals, but also we want to ensure that this table is willing to, individuals seated at this table are willing to collaborate with each other, but we also want other tables around us who we're willing to collaborate with as well. We know that, there isn't just one table because people are creating new tables all the time. But at my table, I want those individuals to be able to be open to different types of data and analytics that can really inform the work that we do. I want us, again, to be able to work with these other tables so that we can all move what we want forward in an equitable way. And most importantly, for 2025, I want to make sure that we're prioritizing self care. I know on our team, a lot of us are go getters. We like to make things happen, which is absolutely incredible. But at the end of the day, we are all humans, and we at some point need to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves, both mentally and physically. So, building in that type of work, because it is work to make sure that you are taking care of yourself into anything that we all do. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Megan. I like the fact you said there are other tables and how do we collaborate with them. We'll come to that a little later in the discussion. But I love the fact that we are not working in silos. It's not just my group, but we are also connecting with other groups, because the more you expand your network, the more you become aware of what's happening outside, and you become more and more, I will say, culturally intelligent, or yeah, maybe that is the right word, I don't know. Okay,
Close
with
enough.
this we
We're
move
gonna
to,
go with it for today.
yeah, with this we move to Captain Asha. Captain Asha is known as Ek Nari Sau Pe Bhari, and now I'll translate that. It is in Hindi. It says one female coming on heavily on 100 others. So we don't know who those 100 others are, but she has got this award. I invite her to introduce herself and let us know how the table would look like.
Thank you so much, Priya. I'm delighted and heartened to be a member or a part of this magnificent forum, which is, I believe, enlightening all of us to understand that we, in isolation, do not play our roles, but also we associate and collaborate around the lens of the globe, and we focus on development happening in our areas, also associating with the global development together, so let me start with my basic introduction. I'm actually, the title of captain is earned from my defense background. I, being a third generation veteran with 10 years of dynamic experience in the Indian Army, with 21 years of experience in the corporate, my journey has been with lots of ups and downs, and growing up with unique and basically leading massive projects, inspiring others, and finding purpose for the growth in organization and people orientation on ground. 3 decades of my experience is basically dedicated for inspirational and helping lot of manpower and lot of people around and lot of processes and systems around. I'm already an author of a book known as Be the Hero of Your Life, which is already published in 3 languages. I have basically worked and helped more than 53,000 students and more than 10,000 women and more than almost closer to 100 MSMEs in our country for the growth of business and their personal growths, calling it the progress chart of theirs, climbing, going from X to 5X and 10X. Women in the corporate, most of the time we've felt and seen, faces lots and lots of challenges, gender bias and imposter syndromes, hindering their personal growth and diminishing their confidence to a great extent. Almost for 3 decades, I've worked in this area to break these social barriers basically and to lead most of us with confidence. I think that's my gray area of work, where I would love to connect with almost each and every woman. And we would like to not only be a part of the table, rather share the grounds for learning and growing up together. My defense and corporate experience actually gives me a unique perspective on strategic operations and most of the leadership development projects what I do. And on social initiatives, I'm actually reaching out to most of the people who need support system on ground to build a much more stronger base for our country, because India is moving from a developing country to a developed country, and it is becoming a showcase platform for the world to see and learn perspectives of development. We want to make India an Atmanirbhar Bharat, which we are all initiated heavy projects, and I'm part of Viksit India project also. So these are my small little areas of growing. I'm very happy to be on this panel. Personally, would like to thank Priya who's pulled me into it, and I would like to grow with her. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Asha, and it's our pleasure to have you here. I really want to know those tips how to, you know, take our potential from 5x to 10x, and I will catch up with you
Absolutely.
later.
We can do a
Later.
session on that next time.
So, with this, last but not the least, we have Anita. Anita is, I know Anita for many, many years now. And I know she is a wonderful, fabulous leader, very diligent in her work. And she knows what she has to achieve and she achieves it as well. So, with this, Anita, please introduce yourself and let us know how you would like to design that table.
Thank you, Priya. Thank you for your kind words. Hi, everyone. I'm Aneta from Poland in Europe. Thank you so much for having me as a part of this fabulous panel discussion. I am PMP certified project manager. I'm very passionate about knowledge sharing and continuous growth. And my everyday journey is fueled by curiosity and cup of coffee. I am volunteer at PMI from 2017, working closely with PMI Poland chapter. I served there for multiple years as vice president of marketing, of membership. I am also part of our local Polish women in project management community. And I am also Europe lead of Women Power Up Network. From this network, I work very closely with Cecilia and Priya. I am committed to empowering women in leadership. Outside of work, I enjoy hiking and playing board games. And I believe that a world where women are not only at the table, but also designing it would reflect on transformative shift. Priya, you've already mentioned that women bring diverse perspectives, emotional intelligence, also collaborative approach to problem solving. And from my experience in project management, I have seen how diverse leadership teams deliver better outcomes. Also, as a PMI volunteer, I witnessed how mentorship can transform aspiring women professionals into leadership roles. And I think that if women are designing that table, it won't just be a bigger table, it will be a better table that is built to support diverse voices that drive meaningful impact and ensure that everyone that has a seat at this table is someone that is capable of shaping the future. That is my vision of the table.
Thank you, Anita. Yes, I love this bigger and better table to support diverse voices, and whoever has a seat at the table makes this table even more beautiful, more colorful, more bigger, more impactful. With this, Cecilia, you have been leading the women in project management initiatives in your region, and you've done some research as well, published a book with Latin American women leaders. Tell us, how do you think things are changing as we move from 2024 to 2025, and what do you look forward in 2025 in this area?
Okay, thank you, Priya. Okay, on one hand, we must have in mind that the difference between women and men with respect to the opportunities to reach leadership positions in general and as well in project management continues to be very significant, both globally and in Latin America. Only 30%, approximately 30% of women reach these positions. The barriers commonly called glass ceiling and other metaphors persist, in addition to the harder dedication of women to family and home care, which means the gap remains, although we can say we are moving forward slowly. In parallel, there are very promising studies regarding job opportunities in 2025. The World Economic Forum's report on the future of employment 2025 reveals that disruptions in the labor market will be equivalent to the 22% of jobs in 2030, a period in which 170 million new jobs will be created and another 92 million will be displaced, leading to a net increase of 78 million jobs. And project management is among the 15th fastest growing jobs according to the report. I will share the report in the chat, the link of the report in the chat. That is very promising. Yeah. The report used data from more than 1,000 companies and note that skills mismatch remains the main barrier to business transformation today. In fact, it indicates that nearly 40% of the companies or 40% of the skill required for the companies need to change, and 63 of the employers already cite this mismatch as their main obstacle. Demand for technology capabilities in AI, big data, cybersecurity is expected to increase rapidly, but human skills such as creative thinking, resilience, flexibility, and agility will remain essential. A combination of both types of skills will become increasingly relevant in the rapidly changing labor market. So what we have to keep in mind is that to reach the new job positions that are opening up, we must permanently develop our skills and competencies. Something interesting is that women, regarding my research, women have greater predisposition to develop power skills such as emotional intelligence, empathy, collaboration, team development, among others, which means there is an important opportunity that we must explore. On the other hand, it's needed that we develop our self-esteem, confidence, and security to encourage us to take on the challenge that today's world presents to us. In short, I think there are good opportunities for women in 2025, but we must develop our skills to be able to take advantage of them.
Yeah, so there are lots of opportunities, looks like. World Economic Forum is actually saying so. So it's how we capitalize on those opportunities, I think, and we are poised very strongly to take advantage of these opportunities. That is what I have understood from what Cecilia said. Give me a thumbs up, Cecilia, if I've understood you correct. Yeah. All right. So with this, Megan, I move on to Megan. Megan, PMI has been running this started this community or the initiative on CDEI, which is culture, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Now, tell us, what have we planned in this as part of this initiative for 2025?
Yeah, so this year, well, I'll kind of back up a little bit. So last year, we formally merged our culture and diversity, equity, inclusion work. Leadership felt that it was important that we work more together than we had in the past, and that's why we truly became one team, because realistically, it does make sense. We have a lot of overlap work, and we really do have the same goals at the end of the day, both for business as well as for people goals. So moving forward, what we did last year is we did a lot of foundation work of, okay, how are we going to continue overlapping these organizations, and what are we going to do to implement it into 2025? So bringing us to this year, leadership has done a really great job of laying the foundation to create an ecosystem to support this work. So we have our Women in Project Management project team externally. We're going to be launching our Culture, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Ambassador Program, which is really exciting. It is a relaunch of our Culture Ambassador Program from just a few years ago when we started the newest iteration of the culture work, I should say. And in addition to that, we're going to continue working to support the communities that have always done this work. When I first came into my role, oh my gosh, 4 years ago now, I made it very clear that just because there was a formal person in this role, that doesn't mean that that's where this work started. Priya, Cecilia, Aneta, Captain Asha, everyone on this call, you all have been a part of this work for decades, and I always want to honor that fact. It's not something we just say, it is a true fact that you have been a part of the work, that part of the group that has moving this work forward. And I've never, ever wanted to come in and say, just because we're formally doing this now, this is where it started, because that's just not true. Our intent is to truly continue amplifying the work that you all do, and that will continue to be a part of our strategy as well as we move, continue into 2025 and beyond. So again, just looking forward to continuing the amplification of the work that's already being done, the launch of the Culture Ambassador Program. And we're also launching this new webinar series called In My Shoes, which again continues to amplify those voices. So a embarrassing pitch, but we do have our first episode of that webinar series is upcoming Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So if you happen to be available, please go ahead and register for that. It's really exciting that we're going to continue pushing this work forward. And as I just close out on this question, we're also going to continue partnering with other organizations. We've recently entered into a phenomenal partnership with Agile Alliance, who has a really great network and track for women within Agile. And there are so many other organizations doing really great work outside of the PMI community that we do have ties to. So again, seeing how we can really collaborate in that specific capacity.
Thank you, Megan. And that was my follow-up question on In My Shoes webinar. What is this all about? So you have already answered it. Yes, everyone, if you have not registered for the webinar, please do. I'm sure it's going to be an amazing one. Thank you, Megan. With this, we move on to Captain Asha. Captain Asha, you are from the defense background. Tell us about your experience. In your opinion, what are those barriers that you see that we have to address to ensure that women can can be represented in the boardroom or in the leadership roles?
Absolutely, Priya. My defense background offers a unique lens through which I see leadership as a mission built on discipline, resilience, and teamwork. I think most of us showcase these qualities very, very powerfully, being women, being emotionally and empathetically connecting with our social circles around us. By addressing these persistent barriers, I believe that society can unlock their potentials of women leaders, and driving the transformative changes in all sectors of life. So, some of the persistent barriers that women leadership today, I believe, are facing are basically the four types. The stereotype gender bias, which we all have faced in our life, and we have countered and encountered and rebuilt our thought on saying that the world is a better place when you want to bring in a change. The second pointer is lack of role models and mentors. I think we as women, we don't have too many role models and too many leadership or role models existing to start copying or start learning or start connecting with them to have a much bigger horizon and learning space for us. I think that's where we lack in. Most of you should pitch in for these roles and lead and generate a vibration. Like if a stone is thrown, it creates a ripples in the water. I think that's what should be the resonating ideas when we do a webinar, and when we want to share the learnings, it should spread out to the complete social forums. I think that will be a very good way of learning. The third most important is creating a work-life balance and unique domestic responsibilities and urgent needs that we share. We need to be, advocating a flexible working policies and potential leave and shared domestic responsibilities in our area of work to enable women professionally, socially, and personally, getting involved, dropping their self doubts, reaching out to another woman, holding, supporting, and embracing her to rise the ladder of empowerment and success. I think if we are there together, we can create a much better environment. The last one is absolutely personal, but it creates an aura about us which blocks our growth. Is basically self-doubt and imposter syndromes. We really need to work through this. Most of the women doubt themselves with self-doubt and feel that they need to overcome compensate and validate their worth as leaders. The urgent need exists to build a confidence through leadership development programs, coachings, and peer support in various groups. I think we are in a stage where we can empower these types of programs and enhance each other, not only each other, rather enhance the complete social group around us and under us, so that we empower them and connect with them on global scenarios like this. I think we can create a rippling effect out of this. That's what I want all of us to carry home once we close down our web windows here. That's from me.
Thank you, Captain Asha. And you touched upon a very important point: sharing domestic responsibilities. Trust me, I am scandalized in my society because my husband used to take my children to the daycare every day, and I would be gone for my work even before they were ready and they were going for their daily school and other activities. So, uh, so there are some cultural norms, right? What do you think now, since we have a multicultural panel here? I will take that opportunity and ask you that how are the cultural norms in your regions impacting women's progress towards those leadership roles? Uh, how can we challenge those norms? Cecilia, we will start with you. I can't hear you, Cecilia. Are you talking on mute? Okay. You're on mute, Cecilia. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was in mute. I was thinking that youth and new generation women should prepare their ability and development potential, trusting, being confident, and not being influenced by gender stereotypes, like, for example, this profession is not for women. Like it happened to me when I wanted to study engineering, and my older brother said, no, this engineering is not for women, or that women are not suited for math or technical skills, and are more suited for social and caring professions, and they will have difficult with their role as a mother, and many other messages that girls and young women receive from school and from the society itself. And also the recommendation of permanent education, professional development, preparing for demands of competition. I mentioned recently AI and all the technology, the new technology, always be up to date, and trends, new trends, curiosity, and creativity. Another recommendation is try to have a mentor into the organization or outside, for example, PMI chapters, to improve the schools, to take better decisions regarding the professionals' moves and life as well. And lastly, they should find their purpose in life and focus on it, and strategically planning their actions aligned to their purpose, and to permanently enjoy what they do. That's in short
Megan,
what
over to
I
you.
do recommend
What do you
to.
think? Are the cultural norms creating barriers for us to move to the leadership roles, and how do we challenge those?
I'm sorry, could you repeat?
So now the question is for Megan. Megan, are
Okay.
the cultural norms really creating barriers for us to move to the leadership roles, or how do we challenge them?
I think it depends on the culture, first and foremost, from what I have experienced. But I also, more importantly, think it depends on the person. So when you're doing any type of change management, organizational development work, which is diversity, equity, inclusion, and culture work, you have to really start with the individual. You have to meet them where they are, and you also have to tap into what you can change at an empathetic level, I think, because you're always going to have people that are very focused, I'll say, on what they believe is right versus wrong. And from a culture standpoint, you have to respect individuals' cultures, and the collective culture, but that doesn't mean that change can't come. So I also, on a personal level, believe that when you are working within culture norms, we have to work collectively to do so. You're not going to make drastic change overnight. So having that expectation of, okay, how can we meet people where they are? When we first started doing the DEI work, my thought was, okay, we know that across our community, there are varying different perspectives and cultural norms on what people feel is fundamentally right versus wrong. Well, first, what we did was we started with education around things, because a lot of times when it comes to cultural norms, um, there is a shying away of education on certain areas, and that is why there's this fundamental belief of right versus wrong. So I fully believe that you can make change within culture norms, but you just have to have an expectation of A, it's not going to happen overnight, and B, you have to meet people where they are. I can share a personal example of a few years ago. I was at PMI's Leadership Institute volunteer planning meeting, and it was the first one that I was at in my current role. And I was sitting and having really great um, debate, quite frankly, with people who, felt different ways about a certain topic. And so there was one individual who was very headstrong about not giving in. They didn't want to be involved in the new culture shift that PMI was going through. They were very against it. They didn't want to have anything to do with diversity, equity, and inclusion. But a lot of it was because of their unconscious biases and their preconceived notions of what this work is. So the individual, I have a lot of respect for that person, because they took the time to have a conversation to learn. And because they did that, I didn't change their mind overnight about anything. But at the end of the conversation, they left saying, I appreciate you talking to me about this topic. While I still don't agree with it, I see it from a different perspective, and I'm at least willing to learn more and listen more. And at the end of the day, that's what you want. You want those hard detractors to at least be open to listening, because I'm pretty sure 8 times out of 10, once they're open to listening, they'll start thinking differently, and they'll start realizing, hey, this isn't as bad as I thought. And they'll start wanting to learn more. And, eventually they may be open to truly getting more further immersed. And again, not necessarily changing their cultural norms, but being open to something different so that they're not as adverse to what they are used to and what they're comfortable with. I always love Lavia Jai's TED Talk of you have to get uncomfortable. You have to get uncomfortable with basically get out of your comfort zone is what she's really saying. And that's what people need to be more open to doing. No one likes to do it. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I love being uncomfortable with being comfortable. Like, no. That took so long for me to do. But again, I'm a human. Like, we have to really continue to see, what can we do to be open to bringing others in so that we can continue pushing this work forward.
So, Megan, be open, start becoming uncomfortable, because being comfortable for too long is boring, at least for
Exactly.
me. Yeah, we have
Me
to
too.
try out new things, should be open to newer ideas, and then only change would come. And I love the fact that you said it starts with you. There'll be a lot of external factors, so we just cannot push the ball and say, oh, this is my culture, that's why I'm not been able to move forward. Thank you, Megan, for those insights. Anita, what is your take on cultural norms?
Mm-hmm. So I think that's why Poland has made significant progress in gender equality. There are still very strong traditional societal expectations around gender,
Mhm.
um, often placing greater pressure on women to prioritize family responsibilities over professional ambitions. And one of the significant challenges is, I would call it, a double burden that many women face, balancing professional careers with expectations of being the primary caregivers at home. And very often, this dynamic can discourage women from pursuing leadership roles that demand more time and energy. And on top of that, very often I observe that cultural attitudes sometimes frame assertiveness in women as being aggressive, while similar behavior in men is seen as strong leadership. So I was thinking about how to challenge this situation, and I think what we can do in Poland and what I observe we started doing is to have greater visibility of women leaders in Poland, because when we see other women thriving in leadership positions, I think it normalizes the idea that ambition and family life are not mutually exclusive. And I think already it was mentioned by Captain Asha that mentorship. So I personally mentor women to help them build confidence and also to help them understand their worth in professional spaces. I think very often we underestimate that we are enough. And this is one of the statements in our Power Up network, that we are enough. And also, what I personally do, I contribute to creating a network to support other women. Then we can share our experiences when we celebrate achievements and when we basically are able to tackle challenges together.
Thank you, Anita. And Anita, you touched upon a very important point of bringing in greater visibility. That means lead by example. When someone sees
Mhm.
Anita, then there'll be people who may think, yes, it is possible to balance both. Right? Thank you, Anita, for those insights. Captain Asha, you have broken all norms. So do you think cultural norm is still a problem for women to be in leadership roles?
Actually, since the ancient time, culture has been the platform for we humans to be put together in some section or some sector of group, saying that, okay, we follow so and so culture and we come from so and so country. Ultimately, it is us who need to decide the horizon, the flight, and the takeoff with the learnings and the environment where we grow. As a kid of 3 4 year old girl, I used to dream playing and making bombs. So today, when I sit in this forum, I can proudly say that I've not only learned how to make it, but I've handled the ammunition, armament, and explosive of Indian Army, Navy, and Air Force powerfully for more than 6.5 years. Over 10 lakh years of my services that I've given, 10 lakh years, 10 lakh hours of service that I've given for my forces. So everything is possible. Firstly, it is you. Secondly, it is the circumstances. then the societal barrier that you break powerfully and showcase, like Anita said, you have to create a storyline. You have to stand out uniquely, and you have to empower and become a mentor for many others to follow you. I think I'm on that line of growth, and I want to continue to grow as far as possible by taking as many women as possible with me and empower everybody who can learn from us. That's what is the essence of doing it. Also, when I joined Defense Services of India, there were very few women, and the numbers were only 5, 10 numbers to join. And we were taken as, I'm extremely sorry, after 6 p.m., my college building takes on the repair work and modification works because the college closes. I'm still sitting in my office and taking on this call. There will be back distance, disturbances, but I'm extremely sorry about that. I'll still continue with my thought. The idea of doing all this activity is that we share, we connect, we ignite, and we grow as a much bigger network. Like we said, we are all having our tables, but the horizon, the platform needs to be safe so that we are able to see each other, the visibility factor, and we resonate with each other's ideas, support each other, learn from each other, even exchange each other's thought if we are making an impact on the society. I think that's where we can create solid examples for others to follow. That's from my end. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Asha. I love this. Define your horizon and make that flight take off. And with this, yes, it's a very nice, nuggets of wisdom that I'm getting today here. Anita, Cecilia, you have been leading the youth and social impact initiative as a region advisor for your region. What advice do you have for the next generation women leaders, and how can they prepare for 2025?
Okay, Bria, thank you. As I said recently, they should develop their skills, their abilities, their potential, their confidence, and try to share the current duties with their partner. This is very important. As an example, my daughter and her partner share the whole home duties, and their young daughter, my granddaughter, caring in an equal way. So I think that perhaps these next gen women are better prepared than in my generation to develop their professional skills. Anyway, we had to highlight the importance of the development, the development potential, and the permanent education. And another things I would recommend is to participate in these kinds of events and empowering communities to just to share their issues with other women, with other young women, and also women with more experience, and to to share and improve their insights, and also to change the the mindset. It's to change the mindset. That's what I should recommend. There are many circles like this, or the Women Power Up Network, or the communities in each chapter, or even the link lean in and lean in circles. There are many groups to share and to empower themselves. Sorry.
So basically, be part of the community, join
Mhm.
communities, right? Whether it's Lean In, whether it's PMI community, whether it's Women Power Up Network, to see how others are progressing and be motivated and inspired by them. And for that, we need role models like you people to inspire others, the next generation, to move forward. Thank you, Cecilia. Anita, as a mentor for PMI mentoring program in Poland, you've mentored multiple emerging leaders. Looking forward in 2025, do you think mentorship? I think everyone has said mentorship will play a pivotal role, but still, I will reiterate. Do you think it is the most important shift that we need to do for women to progress in these areas?
Yes, and actually, I think I'm the best living example of that. I need to tell you that I have never dreamed or wanted a leadership role. I basically considered myself as introvert, and I had this belief that introverts cannot be leaders. I don't know where that came from. It was just my inner belief that, I'm not this loud person, vocal person. So how can I lead others? And basically, thanks to my mentorship journey as a mentee, actually someone spotted potential in me. During one of my mentoring sessions, I've been encouraged by, it was actually a man, and he encouraged me to apply for leadership role at PMI Poland chapter, which I did. And he also helped me to prepare my pitch for that role. It was quite funny because he just did coaching session with me, asking specific questions, and my answers were basically my pitch to apply for the role. So I think at some point in my career, I just had to have a little push from someone from outside that spotted my potential. And I think this is what inspired me to become a mentor then in following years of our mentorship program. Now we have a seventh edition of PMI Poland mentoring program. And for 2 years, I am serving as a mentor. And I am mentoring ladies. It's not on purpose, it just happened that we have been matched together in pairs. And for example, one of my previous mentees is now leading the mentoring program in Poland. So I encouraged her to apply for this leadership role. And the other one, it is actually now my current mentee. She is experiencing a major shift in her career, and I helped her to transition from individual contributor to PMO leader. And it is developing myself as well. So it's some mutual benefits, I would say, from mentoring. So it's not only closing the confidence gap, it's also about building strategic networks, because I think we as established professionals, we can advocate for our mentees and help them provide more strategic decisions. And also, I think mentoring help us to foster lifelong learning. I'm passionate about learning, and I think that as industries evolve, as project management industry evolves, we can mentor and guide women in acquiring the knowledge and competencies that can set them up for success in project management. So definitely, I am strong advocate for mentorship.
Yes, even me. And you rightly pointed out that mentorship is a uh, two-way process. It's not that you are giving, but you also learn a lot when you mentor someone as a mentor, not only as a mentee. So it's a learning process altogether. And interestingly, in Toastmasters, where I am engaged right now, there is a pathway on mentorship, and it really takes brings out all the nuances of mentorship and how mentorship can enrich your career as well as your lives. And with this, Captain Asha, over to you again. Your book, Be the Hero of Your Life, helps young leaders to unlock their potential. Now tell me, if my daughter wants to join the defense tomorrow, what should I tell her? You're talking on mute, Dr. Asha.
Sorry. Extremely sorry for that. So that is really wonderful to know that Priya ki your daughter is planning to join defense services. So what I would encourage you to, support her fully. It is the decision that can truly transform her life. And here's what you can tell your daughter, drawing from the core principles from my book, Be the Hero of Your Life, and my personal experiences. Understand the purpose behind the decision that you people are taking. Ask her why she wants to join defense services. And it is not the very disciplined aspect of the life, it is the opportunity to serve any nation, to accept the challenges which are uncommon in nature. Because when you serve at the frontiers and the borders of the country, nothing values more than the ethos and your own core strength, which makes you stand there and be with your men, wearing uniform. The rest of the world in your own country is resting because you're guarding that border for them. I think that's one of the biggest mindsets that the soldiers develop. And joining defenses is definitely not easy. It is incredibly rewarding. So you really need to prepare yourself fully. You need to encourage right from the starting the preparation time, both on physical and mental. More than that, it is the emotional and the willpower that you need to evolve and push it into a system of following the rules and regulations, because any activity that you do is forming the part of that. And as a woman in defense, I think she will definitely face some of the challenges. This would be, from physical appreciation on ground, because we as women, we are not as fit as men, because we've not been doing the physical activity of, if we go back to the ancient time, men used to go for hunting and women used to stay back and look after the kids. So our body and mind is made in such a way that we can't battle the zones clearly. But now we are part and formal part of it. We've already seen from the battle zones to boardrooms. I think we bring the uniqueness and the differentiated brands with us to create, rather add different colors and taste, even on the boardroom table. So I think that adds on the value. I'm sure you as a mother, Priya, will already have given her a lot of colors of life, which your mother would have passed on to you, and you have enhanced it, and you would have given it to the third generation as your daughter. I think it will be empowering. And I believe in you that you will support her in every step that she moves forward. Your encouragement will keep her highly motivated, especially during the difficult time of her journey, when she will question her doubt to choose defense. I think when I was failing in my training, in spite of being a national athlete and a very physical fit woman, the training period where they whether they break your biological clock by physically torturing you 24/7 for initial 60 days is one of the most difficult phases to go through it. I think that's when your physical barrier is broken, your emotional barriers are broken, your willpower barriers are broken. And then they keep you all on the same platform, and then they tell you to sow seeds of leadership, sow seeds of decision making, and choose your career path from there. I think it's one of the purest forms of human beings pull together, push together, rub together to start growing from there. I think that's the time when we need the mentors the most. In the difficult times when I'm not able to make a decision, if I have my mentor standing next to me and he says, "You move on, I'm with you. I'm backing your back. You go ahead. I will see that you succeed in life." I think that's a much bigger support system that we as women should give each other. I think as a mother, if you're behind her and push her and tell her, "You don't fall back. I'm holding your back. I'm there. So you will go where you want to go. I'm with you." I think that empowers most of us together. I'll be more than happy to support your daughter, Priya. I think you've already given her a lot of
Thank you,
strength.
Captain Asha. I will ask my daughter to talk to you now. By the way,
Absolutely.
what one thing that's coming up very, very strongly from this discussion is that mentorship is the key. So if you have someone behind your back, definitely you will do more than what you can achieve, right? You will go beyond, you will push the envelope, and you will go beyond. With Megan, apart from PMI, you are also the co-president of Project 440. Tell us little about this Project 440 initiatives, and how are we empowering women to advance into leadership roles?
Of course. So Project 440 is a youth serving organization here in my hometown of Philadelphia. What we do is we encourage youth who are involved in the arts, so either performance art, primarily performance arts right now, meaning they play some type of instrument within their school or their local band or orchestra or whichever type of group that they're a part of. And we actually teach them leadership, project management, and just provide skills rather, and then provide them with a place to just socialize outside of school. We also provide college prep courses for them. And it's a really just a great opportunity to be involved in an organization with like-minded students. We are one of the only music-based organizations that don't actively teach music. So that's what does set us out a little bit different. But again, we are still upskilling these students so that if they do decide to go to a college or university or a music preparatory or find a different route after high school, they have the skill set and the support to do so. We do this through various different programming, and it's just really exciting to see these students kind of go through everything that all the program that we have and become these phenomenal adults when they're in college and after. And so what we're doing to support these students, like I said, we're giving them these skills, but in particularly in our Doing Good program, we give them a budget to work with to come up with a project. So before I actually started working for PMI and knew anything about the Educational Foundation, which is a foundation that supports youth serving nonprofits, they also have this really great toolkit to teach students project management. And I wasn't a part of the programming, but it's amazing to see that Project 440 actually uses Project Management Institute Education Foundation's toolkit to teach these students, which is phenomenal. So we're really training, quite frankly, the next generation of project managers as well, which is really, really exciting. One group that I recently spoke with who did graduate from the Doing Good course happened to be a group of all young women. And what they really doubled down on was creating a more sustainable environment that students could feel safe in within their communities. So they really focused on, collecting trash and turning it into art and having it into this beautiful art exhibit so that people could come in and see how they're upcycling what people in essence kind of just throw on the street. And so what I did, I came in, ironically, and it's perfect timing, this question, as a mentor to these students and provided them with some additional resources that they may not know about. So I connected them to some of the United Nations work that they do and shared some of their development goals so that they were able to tie their work to a larger project so that people could see a larger vision outside of what's directly in front of them. In Philadelphia, a lot of our youth only have access to what's in front of them. So when they see that there is a world outside of, again, just Philadelphia or just Pennsylvania, or quite frankly, just the United States, they're able to dream bigger and think bigger and, see themselves as part of this amazing world that we live in.
Excellent. I love this. Something different than, project management going on here. Yes, Anita, I forgot to ask you about this initiative, the European Women on Board. The other day, I saw this initiative on LinkedIn, and they have published a toolkit for change. Do you think that toolkit can be applied in our day to day life in our organization? Tell us
Um,
about it.
yes, this toolkit is very interesting. It gives like actionable insights that I think we can implement in our organizations and not only in boards and across leadership pipelines in different industries. Maybe I can give you some examples of what this toolkit was about. So guess what? They mention mentorship programs. So we have it spot on as well. So this report toolkit says about developing mentorship initiatives that connect emerging female leaders with experienced board members. But it doesn't have to be board member. Yeah, it can be established professional. And they say that such programs can very much help navigate pathways to leadership roles, which this is exactly what we discussed. And they also mention in this toolkit building a talent pipeline for board-ready women. So basically, they advise to identify and mentor women early in their careers so that they can get to know some tools and strategies. They can participate in leadership programs and connect with key stakeholders at early stages of career so that they could be ready and visible for top positions. Also, this toolkit mentions role modeling. So this is something what we also discuss. Encourage board chairs to actively champion diversity and inclusion because they say that when leadership demonstrates inclusive behaviors, it fosters a culture where diverse perspectives are valued. So strong support from leadership. And training and development programs. So to provide trainings for men and women about the importance of gender diversity, including unconscious bias, because I think it is all about equipping people with knowledge that we all experience unconscious bias. That's why we don't, sometimes we might not even know it's a bias because it's unconscious. And one more thing that I found interesting was to implement transparent recruitment process. So this toolkit focuses on strategies like some structured interviews or diverse hiring panels and clear evaluation criteria to make sure that recruitment process is fair and inclusive. I think that the general message from this toolkit is that gender balance is improving, and now the change has to go deeper and wider. So I will also paste the link to this report so you can also find more details about that.
Yeah, I find this toolkit very interesting. Now I have an idea. Probably we should implement this toolkit in our chapter leadership program as well and see how we can bring in more women on the chapter boards. Probably, maybe we could think about it. Yes, Cecilia, you are an SDI facilitator. So tell us a little about what SDI is. I know it has to do with to understanding what drives people and how relationships can impact leadership, but how can we leverage that to ensure that we create inclusive environments for women in 2025?
Thank you, Bria. Indeed, as a certified core strength SDI facilitator, one of the things I promote is the self-awareness and the knowledge of other people to improve interpersonal relationships. So this is relationships intelligence. And through this intelligence, leaders can understand the impact that they have on others, even unconsciously, simply because of their own personality, motivation, or communication style. With this impact in mind, leaders can shape their behaviors and conversations to avoid being perceived as aggressive, distant, or disrespectful by others. Simply by understanding that what can bother other people, we can improve interpersonal relationships and make people feel more comfortable and safe working with us. As a leader, we must also encourage the entire team to take this into account so that the entire team generates and maintains a collaborative environment where everyone feels equally included and considered. And not just with core strength total SDI, this is not an advertising, but there are many other theories and tools to know personalities, preference, and motivations, and we can shape our behaviors to have a more inclusive working space.
Thank you, Cecilia. I see a few questions on the chat window. Should we pause and take those questions before we move ahead with the rest of the questions that we already have? Um, so there is a question from Brushali Bhagat, and Brushali is our PMI Mumbai chapter member. She resides in Dublin right now. Her question is, do you think the sympathy women often receive is really necessary, or could it actually get in the way of achieving the goal of true gender equality? Megan, you want to answer that?
I can try. So I think it's almost a double-edged sword. We need to bring awareness to the inequities that women have faced since the beginning of time, because if we don't bring awareness to it, it will never be addressed. But and I don't know if we're there yet, but at some point we do have to, stand up and say, okay, enough with this. You need to, meaning our allies, I'll say, need to understand that we are here. We can do the same things that you can do. And we want to be treated as equitably as you treat your peers. So I don't think this is something, and when I see, unless I'm misinterpreting it, when I read sympathy, I see it as, okay, we still need to bring awareness to the issue, because there does need to be some type of sensitivity to the fact that for thousands of years, women have not been treated as equal partners. That's just a fact. Or women have been looked down on for various different things. Yes, there are some areas where, men do things a certain way and women do things a certain way. But at the end of the day, we can all do these things and come together and work together to make our world much better than it is. So to answer your question, yes, we do still need that sympathy, again, to reiterate, to bring awareness. But again, there does come a point where we all need to step up and say, let's get out of this mindset and let's actually make real change.
Okay, all right. There is a question, I think Captain Asha can answer this. How can we ensure women from both rural and urban areas, uh, as well as diverse and marginalized backgrounds, are inclusively empowered in 2025 through targeted measures in intersectional approaches and collaborations between business and policymakers?
That's a wonderful question. Thank you for asking that. Actually, all our mission here is basically to mentor and inspire youngsters around us. And we as women, we are deeply rooted in helping them unlock most of their potentials, confidently crave their path ahead, and embrace the life with purpose and empowerment for women. We all are underlining that fact that we want to support. We are part of that organization. Knowingly, unknowingly, we all support that. So it's a beautiful question that you have asked. So it's there basically one thing that I want to ask them to focus on is basically to build a vision for 2025 and beyond. And it would be basically by defining what their purpose is, what their action is going to align to a single day activities every day, which will take them to the focus goal, which is time bound and which is over a period of time. By doing daily activities, they can succeed and gain confidence in achieving that. A clear sense of purpose here is basically the foundation of meaningful growth and their personal success, which will validate their everyday step taken to making them achieve their goals, basically. It is what that gives them a direction when the lives, feels overwhelming and they don't know what is to be done. So if you have broken down your major goals of life into daily steps, okay, this is the activity that needs to be followed to close today's calendar. And if you have done that, give yourself tick in your to-do list and then close the day and say, "Okay, tomorrow I'll see what is coming up." I think that gives us an empowerment. And basically, it is a tough choice to make your daily routines inclusive of your life goals in different spheres of life. I have done it, and I even punish myself by adding 1,000 rupees into my piggy bank, which I donate by the month end to an orphanage, which I don't count how many thousands I've donated if I've not done an activity. But I do that to put myself on the target of daily steps being followed religiously. I do that because when I don't do it, there are umpteenth number of followers who are seeing that this lady is enjoying her life. She says something and she doesn't do it. So I do it regularly, and I also keep an account of that, saying that yes, this is what I have donated. And after a punishment that I have done to myself, where I have faltered in not taking my daily steps. That's the idea. One action that we all can create is basically create a purpose board. This will turn your dreams into reality. And I would really like to ask them to create this purpose board by answering three basic questions. Who do you want to become in the times to come is first question. What do you want to achieve by becoming that is your second question. And the third one is, how do you want to serve others with what purpose in your mind? If all the three are aligned together, I think we create a reminder to all of us that we are all on the same path. Maybe the idea of going through it is different, but we all really want to align together and keeping each other inspired. By 2025, we envisage a community of fearless, purpose-driven individuals and youngsters who are with a lot of confidence, and we want to start a tall ladder of success of leadership where we all would like to contribute our own shows and our own effort onto that one pool of leadership. That's what is my idea. One final message that I want to give is, when you really want to go fast on a track, you can go alone. But when you want to go together, when you really want to go far, that the idea is to go together. And let's build a future which will help us all rise together with a purpose-driven vision with absolute clarity. I think that's what I would like to, close my talk with.
Purpose driven vision it is, right? What do I want to become? What do I want to achieve, and how will I serve others in the process? Because if I want to go fast, I will go alone, but if I have to go a long way, I have to take others with me. Thank you, Captain Asha, for those insights. And the next question which I see is, what role do you think male allies and community network can play in fostering a more inclusive society? Cecilia, you want to take that question? You're on mute, Cecilia.
Yes, thank you. As I said previously, I think new generation are more working together, males and females, to share the duties at home and caring, and also as partners in the career development. So I think males should be aligned with female, with women, to have a more inclusive society. In our communities, for example, in the community of living and community of practice in Buenos Aires chapter, we also have men in fostering fostering the development of women, not just women. So it's very interesting, these questions. There are a concept of positive masculinity. Positive masculinity is what can men do to foster the inclusiveness. I think this is very important issue. This is a very important consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Cecilia. There's another question on AI. Of course, no discussion can be complete without AI. This is from Rushali again. She says that, are we ready to embrace the changes that AI will bring to project management? How can women from all around the globe be best prepare themselves for this transformative shift? Anita, you want to take that question?
Yes, thank you, Priya. I think that, yeah, everyone is talking now about AI, and what maybe I can share what I do to stay, I would say, with the pace. Definitely, I am checking the new technologies, so like ChatGPT or Gemini or Perplexity tools. Also, I strongly recommend everyone to also see what PMI offers. For PMI members, we have really good training courses with really great examples. So basically, I would say not to be afraid of these new tools and try it on our own, but also look for trainings, and especially for globally recognized organizations like PMI. And it definitely it will shape how we work. I observed that in my company, in my organization, it has developed its own kind of chat GPT. So what I also do, I just practice every day how to make better prompts, etc. And definitely, I think it will also help to, in our case, of embracing women into leadership roles. This is something that we have to acquire, AI knowledge, not to be left behind. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all about skill development, be it AI or non-AI. So you have to always keep yourself updated with the latest.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone, yeah, anyone else want to add to this? Megan, Cecilia, Captain Asha?
Yes, Priya. I have a good news here that the recent Deloitte research predicts that women's experimentation with the use of generative AI will equal or surpass that of men in the United States by the end of 2025, as adoption is growing substantially. I will share with you this report, the link of the report. Let me see, because it's very, very interesting. This is the link of the report. Oh.
Yeah, put the link of the report on the chat window, Cecilia, if you can. And
I
Anita,
tried.
people are looking for the
Okay.
chat.
Here.
People are looking for the link to the
Here.
toolkit as well. If you can repost it, that will really
Okay.
help. Yeah. So I think we are coming to the end of the discussion now. And since we have a global team here, how do we build global collaboration among women across regions? Megan, I think it's best suited for you to answer this question.
Of course. So I always say look for the opportunities to be a part of the conversation and truly listen. I know a lot of us think that, going into other spaces and sharing what we have learned is a great opportunity, and that is. But before we even get there, we have to go and build those organic relationships first. and hear what other people are doing, so that when it is our time to come in and talk about what we're doing, we can really reiterate the connections and the collaboration opportunities and the overlapping of, we're both doing these similar things. Let's work together so that we can strengthen our work and bring it back to where we're from. Opportunities like this, finding those, if you can't be in person, joining via a virtual opportunity at home, so that you're able to, again, just continue to listen and learn more. I would also recommend looking for training opportunities like cross-cultural collaboration, cross-cultural communication, so that you're going into the opportunity having a base level of understanding of what the culture and that their communication is like. Getting involved, I mean, I know everyone here is involved with so many different organizations, but again, continuing to get out of your comfort zone and get involved with organizations that give opportunities to meet other people on that global level as well. Those are really my main thoughts on how to do that. PMI provides a endless list of opportunities to do so. But again, there are other organizations, especially for women. Cecilia talked about a lot of the ones earlier in this discussion. Annetta has a few that I know is a part of, and especially with her organization. And at our meeting earlier this week for the Women in Project Management project team, we all shared some of those organizations. So joining a good networking group to, yes, learn about what they do, but learn about what each individual does also outside of that group. That's how you'll continue to expand and learn more about different people and build those relationships.
Yeah, definitely, Megan. I totally trust the power of the community. I love the community because for me, it has been a life changing experience. Today, I know people because of PMI, I know people from at least 32 countries. And trust me, anywhere I go, I know I have someone with whom I can have dinner at least. So that's the level of network that I was able to create because of this platform that PMI has created. So I encourage everyone to go to projectmanagement.com, create your profile, be part of whatever community you want to be part of. And I think we are going to create some we already have a women community there on projectmanagement.com. So be part of that. And you will see, you will get to know many leaders. And you may even get a nice mentor for yourself. And we have been highlighting so much on mentorship.
Yes.
I think
And
with
Priya,
this,
if you don't mind me just saying one quick thing also,
sure.
I also encourage everyone to volunteer and look for those volunteering opportunities. On PMI, we have an entire volunteer program, which is absolutely phenomenal. Even if you aren't sure if, if it's the right opportunity for you, or maybe it may be too advanced for you, apply anyway. You never know. Especially for those global roles. And there are a lot of short-term volunteer roles that will really set you up for success in the future. So don't count those ones out. And I'm done now. I just wanted to make sure I gave that pitch.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, volunteering it's really going to take you to the next level because in your work area you may not get all the opportunities because that's work. Anyways, we have to earn a living. But then what do you do? To do something that you want to do. So volunteering is definitely that opportunity, and yeah, and there are lots. Thank you, Megan, for highlighting that. Renu, do we have any more questions or should we wrap up now?
I think we have answered all the questions.
Okay,
So,
great. So,
yeah.
any last word panels for women and emerging women leaders for 2025? And we'll start with Cecilia. You're on mute.
Sorry.
Any last word
Okay.
for our audience?
Yes. Yes, please involve with PMI, involve with these groups and communities of women empowerment, and share your own experience because we all have our experiences, and our experience is good for the other people, and we can open our minds. Seeing others' experience and becoming aware of the biases we all have, as Anita said, and all of this is the way to change our culture, shape for the better, for a better culture. So involve, and we all will change the world.
Okay.
Thank
Anita,
you.
what's your one last word to our audience? And
Yes,
everyone, please share your LinkedIn profile on the chat so that people can connect with you. And in case they want
mm,
you to be their mentors. Yeah. Anita, please go ahead.
I would say be open-minded. Um, Remember that you are enough and look for a mentor. It can really change your life.
Thank you. Captain Asha?
Yeah, so I would like to add on only two sentences here. Never give up on yourself and never stop supporting others to grow.
Okay. And Megan?
A piece of advice that I was given that I've tried to really live the last few years since I've been giving it is always be your bold, authentic, and Megan A. Spade, but interchange your name with mine. um, it has really allowed me to get out of my comfort zone. It has allowed me to enjoy moments that I could only enjoy in the special way that I am. And that has really given me the drive to push forward during times of uncertainty, uncomfortability, and peer frustration. I know who I am and I know what my guiding light is. And as long as that light is lit and I'm who I am, I can continue pushing forward. So I share with everyone here always be your bold, authentic self. It will serve you well.
Thank you,
Always.
Megan. And from my side, I would say dream really big and always work towards it and never quit. So that because if you dream big, yes, you will achieve it, but work towards it. Yeah, just don't dream. Yeah. All right, with this, over to you, Renu, to take it forward. We are done. And if there are any questions, please feel free to send messages over LinkedIn to our panelists. The links are already there on the chat window. So please do connect with us and send messages. We would be happy to answer them offline as well. Renu, over to you.
Thank you so much. I think we missed out Captain Asha for our
Oh,
last
Captain
word.
Asha, did I miss out? The
Yeah.
last word? Sorry.
Yeah, so the last word is dream big and continue to grow.
Okay, all right. Over to you, Renu, now. Finally.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this wonderful session. Aparna, can you give a note of thanks?
Uh, yeah, wow, what a great debate. Listening to all of these panelists from across the globe. You all are wonderful women leading various initiatives in your regions. As leaders, how you have defined success in personal, professional, and social roles, going beyond the culture norms collectively. Truly an inspiration to all of us. Few lines I remembered and liked from the sessions are like we need to capitalize the opportunities coming to us by developing and upgrading our skills. We should collaborate in our society capacity, start listening to understand different point of view, and we should grow together, help each other, help other women, especially to rise the ladder. I would like to I would well like to summarize the key points for all the participants. Like, let us listen more to understand different perspectives, dream big, try out new things, become open to new ideas to bring change and grow together. We need to define our own horizons and make the flight take off, as Captain Asha mentioned. Hope you all will also take some time out to reflect on, to set your own table for this year with vision building and bold aspirations. Thank you all for joining with us in this session. we hope that you have learned something new and get inspired. With this, I will close the events. The PDU code has been shared. I'll just put the PDU code, and the
Yeah.
feedback link has been shared. We would love to hear you from you about the feedback on this sessions. And I think that's all. Good night to everyone.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Wonderful session. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I'm delighted to be part of
Thank
this.
you.
It's
And
really been
thank you all the panelists. We had a wonderful session.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.